the United States is facing a growing water crisis. And if you think you're prepared, well, think again. Because according to recent reports, an increasing number of American cities are drying up fast, and the worst is yet to come. This is something that all of us need to take very seriously. From California to Colorado and other parts of the South, reservoirs are drying up, restrictions are tightening, and millions of people are at risk of losing access to clean water within the next few years. You may have heard of Lake Mead, which is the largest reservoir in the United States. It is located behind the Hoover Dam on the border of Nevada and Arizona, and it provides water to 25 million people across 7 different states. But those agreements were made when there was much more water available. They currently use 900,000 acre-feet of water per year, but by 2035, their demand will rise to 1.2 million acre-feet. Unfortunately, experts predict that the Colorado River will only be able to supply 60% of that demand. At that point, the federal government will need to intervene and reallocate water resources from other regions of the country to help plug the gap. In fact, the entire economy of the southwestern United States depends on a delicate balance of water infrastructure that could collapse at any moment. For example, Arizona produces a whopping 240,000 bales of hay per year, worth roughly $500 million. This hay is then shipped all across the country to feed cattle in places like Wisconsin, where farmland is scarce. Without this hay, millions of cattle would starve and meat prices would skyrocket. That's just one example, but there are countless others. According to the director of the University of Texas Water Resources Institute, the strain on the nation's water supply will be so great that the government will be forced to consider relocating people away from the affected areas. And the inconvenient truth is that things are going to get much worse before they get better. Fact, no. 1. This isn't just a drought. In fact, scientists believe that the megadrought gripping the Southwest is the worst in 1,200 years. According to a new study published in the journal Nature Climate Change, the multi-decade megadrought gripping Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and other southwestern states is virtually unprecedented in the past 1,200 years. Scientists examined sediment deposits in Lake Tahoe and found that the current megadrought has been far more intense and longer-lasting than any drought in recorded history. But what about other parts of the country? Will we see water shortages in the east, or is the Southwest the only area that is at risk? Water is being trucked into several southwestern cities, including Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and San Antonio. In recent years, some rural communities have sold their water rights to cities, essentially turning off the taps for farms and ranches in favor of higher-paying urban customers. That means that Las Vegas will likely face a shortfall of over 600,000 acre-feet of water within the next 13 years. Some farmers and ranchers are buying up water rights to unused groundwater basins, allowing them to bank water for future use. There's no doubt that this is a dire situation that could potentially lead to large-scale water shortages, food insecurity, and mass migration within the United States. But rather than succumbing to fear, I encourage you to take proactive steps to ensure your own preparedness. Hotter temperatures are leading to faster evaporation and reduced snowpack in the mountains. That means less water is available to feed rivers and reservoirs during the dry season. As farms expand to meet growing demand, they're consuming more and more water, leaving less for cities and reservoirs. Many water systems in the Southwest were built in the early 20th century and have kept pace with population growth. Since 1970, Arizona's population has grown by over 800%, putting immense pressure on water supplies. By 2050, Arizona's population is projected to reach 20 million people, nearly double its current size. Unless drastic measures are taken, the state will simply run out of water by mid-century. Between 1991 and 2080, the average temperature in Las Vegas increased by 4 degrees Fahrenheit. By 2050, it could be 10 degrees hotter. These include California, Colorado, Illinois, Kansas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Texas, and Wisconsin. Corn crops are failing in Iowa and soybean production is plummeting in Minnesota. On top of that, water levels in the Great Lakes are dropping to historic lows. It's so bad that some fear the oil tankers navigating the lakes could run aground. Meanwhile, 36 states are experiencing unusually dry conditions, including Arkansas, Delaware, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, and Louisiana. In a recent press conference, the governor of New Mexico said, "Our state's water supply is being depleted at an unsustainable rate. We have no choice but to take drastic measures." As part of the emergency declaration, he ordered the state engineer's office to implement Level 3 water restrictions throughout the state. He also activated the New Mexico Drought Task Force to coordinate state efforts to address the drought and convened a meeting with the governors of Texas and Colorado to discuss collaborative actions to address shared challenges in the Rio Grande Basin. And these droughts are already causing widespread crop failures. Now, under these agreements, California is entitled to 58.7% of the available water, while Arizona gets 37.4% and Nevada receives 4.0%. These allocations will remain unchanged even when there's a shortage, but the problem is that there simply won't be enough water to go around. But according to data from NASA, Lake Mead is now just 28% full. That's less than 1/3 of its capacity. It has reached its lowest level ever since it was created in 1935, and it could soon fall even further as the mega drought gripping the Southwest worsens. If we apply this shortfall on a per capita basis, every single person in Las Vegas would need to cut their water usage by over 1,000 gallons per day. Of course, that's not going to happen because people aren't going to cut their water usage voluntarily. Instead, they'll be forced to by government mandate. Already the authorities in Nevada have ordered a 35% reduction in outdoor water usage, but those restrictions could soon tighten drastically. So today, we're going deep into why so many American cities are suddenly running out of water and what you can do about it. And stick with me until the end of the video, because I'll be revealing 7 important facts that you absolutely need to know. Let's get right to it. And when that happens, cuts will be imposed on the states that depend on the river, including Arizona, California, and Nevada. But according to some projections, Lake Mead could drop to 945 feet by January 2023, triggering the first ever water shortage on the Colorado River Basin. In the latest video, we discussed how unprecedented 4,000-degree temperatures are melting glaciers, breaking dams, and sparking deadly wildfires across the northern hemisphere. We've also recently done another video on the dramatic collapse of the UK's national grid as record heat threatens to bring down power lines, substations, and even entire power plants. Well, today I'm sorry to say this, but the bad news continues, because now we're seeing some incredible satellite imagery coming out of the Western United States, showing how reservoirs and dams are literally drying up right before our eyes. When Lake Mead falls below 950 feet, the federal government will declare a water shortage on the Colorado River. Right now, each state has been allocated certain amounts of water based on a series of legal agreements dating back several decades. For example, the city of Las Vegas relies almost entirely on the Colorado River for its water supply. Now, to put that in perspective, the city of Las Vegas has roughly 660,000 residents. According to a report from the Wall Street Journal, some researchers predict that the region's demand for water will eventually exceed its supply by over 2 million acre-feet. This isn't just a local issue affecting a handful of states. Unfortunately, as water becomes scarce, we're likely to see agricultural production plummet across the region, leading to major disruptions in our food supply chain. Well, according to the Natural Resources Defense Council, 8 states are already facing severe water shortages. Texas' high-yielding cotton fields are currently withering in the heat. But perhaps the most alarming development came last week when New Mexico declared a water emergency. At this point, it's clear that this drought is unlike anything we've experienced in the past. Okay, now let us take a look at 7 facts that you should know about this ongoing water crisis and how it is going to impact your life. Fact no. 2. Climate change is making things much worse. Fact no. 3. Population growth is exacerbating the problem. Fact no. 4. Agriculture is draining the supply. Agriculture accounts for over 80% of water use in Arizona and 90% of water use in California's Central Valley. Fact no. 5. Water infrastructure is crumbling. Leaky pipes and aging reservoirs are wasting billions of gallons of water each year. Fact no. 6. Water transfers are becoming more common. And fact no. 7. Water banking is emerging as a way to store supplies. So there you have it. 7 facts you need to know about America's growing water crisis. As always, stay safe out there.